This is Sybert signing into General's Evolution on the map Sand Serpent for Game 1 of a King of the Hill event in the north. Playing the orange GLA Stealth, this is Sagoro. And in the south, playing as the purple, we'll see if this pronunciation can be 5% better than last time. As the purple USA Super Weapons, this is Akari. Unfortunately, the last time I casted Akari, he was not too happy with my pronunciation in the last game. Apparently, I said his name a little bit wrong, but that's okay. I'm going to try and do better. GLA versus USA Super Weapons. I don't know if there were any format changes made in between the last King of the Hill, which was a bit of a rumble, and this one. It was a bit of a rumble in the sense of like rough and tumble rumble down the hill and crash and burn. There were random selections of matchups, and so you would get people who did really well in one game and then really poorly in the next one, partially because the next game would be a pretty bad matchup for them. In some cases, just numerically disadvantaged. I don't know if they made any changes to the format. At any rate, if you're not familiar with King of the Hill, I imagine most people are familiar with King of the Hill formats at this point. But whoever wins the match stays on. They are the King of the Hill, and new challengers sign up to face off against, whoever happens to be the guy who won most recently in front of them. 10 games in this King of the Hill. As far as I know, this is mostly just for fun. Sometimes people ask, how does that make sense as a competitive format? And I was like, well, it's not a traditional tournament. So we don't worry too much about, you getting an unfavorable matchup as if it were a tournament. Humvees moving out for Akari. Sagoro, on the other hand, going to be moving forward. Technicals and quads is going to be the unit composition for Sagoro. Both players dropping pretty low in income. Sagoro going to be adding on a tunnel network into the middle of his base. He hasn't gone very far with the tunnel networks, and the Sand Serpent is one of those maps where it kind of favors the more active player, but it can definitely turn into a campy fest. Now, I say it favors the more active player because if you get into the southern half of the map and you kill your opponent's bridge, then you can have a pretty easy time securing these two expansions in the corner. And, Sagoro already tried some sneaky engineer stuff, but he has not gone big on the expansions. Rock V going to be showing up to Sagoro's base, and that is going to be one dead supply truck, possibly 2, 3, and 4 dead supply trucks. It's going to be technicals moving out through the middle of the map for Sagoro. Meanwhile, supply trucks are going down one by one. Quads are going to be the response. There is a spy drone overhead, so we will be able to keep an eye on this area even after this ends. EMP Patriot locks down and destroys one technical. It's going to be Guardian tanks on the response here, and also an outpost coming in as well. But it's going to be a tunnel network, an attempt at the sneaky tunnel. RPG troopers are here, and that is 3 dead tanks. This RPG trooper is worth his weight in gold as this armadillo outpost tries to get up in time, but the quad cannons pop out just a little too quick. Quad cannon surprise in your base, rocking your face because Sagoro, his sneaky tactics from earlier didn't work out, but they sure did this time. It's going to be quad cannons versus Guardians. Fortunately, the Guardians are just coming out one at a time. The rest of the Guardians have already been dealt with. Akari getting dumpstered here. The oil derrick going down. And he does have on the other side of the map just a spy drone. Don't let the purple dot on the minimap deceive you, because Akari is pretty much done and dusted. He could still make some kind of a miracle comeback happen from here. He's got 2 oil derricks out on the map, so he always will have a bit of income. But that tunnel pop was legendary from Sagoro. That was so exactly right. Perfect move there, and it just barely worked out. The alternate version of this is it is a complete failure. EMP Patriot is a strong anchor for your army, but of course there's no war factory, there's no barracks, there's soon not going to be any supply, so that income is going to be getting low and staying low. behind this. Sagoro can do whatever he wants. A-10 Warthog Strike is going to be coming in. If Sagoro isn't careful, this is going to nuke the majority of his army. He's going to get tagged by it. A couple of units going down there. Quads getting eaten up by the Humvees on the north side of that command center. Power plants going down. EMP Patriot now itself underpowered. And this command center will survive the night. Akari is not dead. Akari is finding a way to try and make the comeback happen. Rebel Surprise comes in as well. They're throwing their Molotov cocktails at that supply center. More quads going to be popping out of the tunnel just before it goes down. Not enough missile defenders, not enough tanks, and even a quad cannon, even a Manticore APC, courtesy of the Stealth General in Gen Evo, going to be making an appearance here. Power comes back online. EMP going to be locking down one of those quads, but the other two are out of range. Power plants getting rebuilt. Power plants getting upgraded as well. The barracks is here. Akari not giving up. Never give up, never give in, apparently, is the motto. Command center goes down. One barracks, one power plant remains. Sagoro will take the first win in the September King of the Hill. Who will be his next challenger? Good macro all game long from Sagoro. Constant production, consistent strategy as well. Always trying to sneak something by. We saw in the last King of the Hill, he was trying to sneak engineers into his opponent's base, and it did work, at least partially, and that will be it for Akari. Good night to our first competitor in this King of the Hill. The GG comes out, and that will do it for game number 1. A swift map on Sand Serpent that did not turn into some long, drawn-out, terribly campy map. Sagoro had a good 1-2 punch ready to go, and he sent Akari flying. That will do it for this game. Let's jump into match number 2. And that takes us to Forgotten Forest for game number 2. We have in the north playing as the green Vanilla China. This is Kyle. And in the south playing as the orange once again, and also Vanilla China. This is Sagoro. He is the current king of the hill, but do not count out the guy on the other side of the map. It's going to be a fast war factory from Sagoro. Meanwhile, Kyle, on the other hand, also going for a pretty quick war factory as well. Gat as well. I mean, this is pretty standard for China players. Yeah, these guys are pretty much as mirrored as you can get. Don't count out Kyle, because if you have not seen the 2v2 series that just got played, well, from the time of recording, just got played, but depending on when you're watching, it was probably the Gen Evo video on my channel most recently before this one. That series, 2v2, Cloud and Blues versus Kay and Kyle. We got to see some fantastic play from all 4 players. Kyle did an amazing job of putting out some great strats and some great play in that 2v2 series. But if you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out. It will be linked in the description. As the second War Factory comes up, Sagoro does have a lot of thoughts and decisions to be making in the next couple of minutes here. He's the king of the hill. He's defeated one person. But if Kyle is playing well, as Kyle just did the other day, then Kyle is going to be a very formidable and very difficult opponent for Sagoro to overcome. So even though Sagoro is one of the lead developers on Gen Evo, even though Sagoro just came through with a victory in the last game, he cannot sit on his laurels. He cannot take this one easy, because Kyle is absolutely able to take him to task. Kyle, 2.6K in the bank. Happy to float a little bit, it seems. He is going for that War Factory and this weird kind of combo where he expanded out to the forward base first before taking his 2 backdoor primary supply centers, which is more what you would expect to see. Sagoro, on the other hand, just now finishing up the forward supply center, and the macro is turning as Kyle has his production going. He's adding on his second war factory. Again, his build order after the first minute or so did start diverging from Sagoro's, but we'll see. I don't know what this supply truck is doing. That might be a little bit of a mistake. Barracks is coming in, additional barracks, so this is going to be a second barracks plus a GAT. Oil derricks have both been taken by Kyle, so at the very least, he does have that income advantage. When you're all said and done, you're both on 3 supplies worth of income. One guy has double oil derrick. This is a double GAT kill for Kyle. So already, as game number 2 gets underway, he has found himself with a tremendous advantage in the GAT count. Fortified bunker is going to be the way that he tries to break this down. He's going to try and take the defender's advantage to the max as a GAT cannon gets added on as well. Everything to try and block this GAT army from moving any further forward, but this is going to be a pretty easy win for Kyle if he's able to cut off the production of Sagoro. You may have a bunker out here at your 3rd supply, but that does not matter if you have no war factory, if you have nothing else. Sagoro trying to do everything to block off these attack routes, but he just literally was not ready for this much firepower to come in from Kyle, and this is the level of play that Kyle is bringing to the table. I think we're going to be seeing Kyle in game number 3, but Sagoro is not out of it yet. He does have the double barracks. Unfortunately, he's only producing missile defenders, or only producing tank hunters, rather, against a guy who's building a ton of GATs. GATs have slowed a little bit, but don't let that fool you. They are piling up outside of this war factory. Sagoro can't even deal with the full might of Kyle. He is crumbling as Kyle presses on forward. A couple of free shots here from these tank hunters coming from the north. That bunker is still a difficult thing to break with just GATs, but let's be honest, once the rest of the base is dead, that single bunker is actually pretty easy for Kyle to deal with. Sagoro gets the double war factory, but everything that gets produced gets instantly destroyed by the forces of Kyle. Wave 2 is on the way. Sagoro did grab back one of the oil derricks away from Kyle. That's a nice touch, but a nice touch on a sinking ship isn't the kind of paint that you need in this moment. You need something that's going to do a little bit more for you. Kyle has nearly pushed back, or Sagoro has nearly pushed back Kyle, but of course, the second wave is already here. MiGs are also here. 2 MiGs going down as they drop on those supply trucks. And Sagoro pretty much out of cash, out of production. He has no real hope of coming back. He did actually manage to sneak out a dozer. So in theory, he could actually make a comeback in this game, but it will not be possible with this many GATs patrolling. On top of that, there are still some missile defenders here. There are still some tank hunters going to be targeting down that supply center. And just one by one, everything goes down. GG gets called, and Kyle will be sent into game number 3. And that takes us to Bad Evening. This city always looks like such a bad evening. On the stream where we're talking about some of these maps look so idyllic and beautiful, and this is definitely not one of them. I do not want to visit this place on a Friday afternoon. On the right side of Bad Evening, playing as the fresh minty green, this is K. Meanwhile, on the left side, also playing green, but just a slightly different color, playing China Nuke, this is Kyle. K versus Kyle, and they're both playing green. Fortunately, they're not both playing the same faction. So USA units are K's, and China units are Kyle. Supply center getting added on, but actually decides to cancel that and instead get out a Humvee maybe just a little bit sooner. I'm never a fan of when... Oh, hey! Look at that! That's some sneaky engineer stuff right there. I didn't even notice that engineer. That's why the barracks was so far forward for K. I cannot believe he did that. I was about to make a comment about 0 Hour and Gen Evo being similar in that way, but no. Of course they're not. You don't have dozers, you don't have worker units. Oh my gosh, Kyle. He's just getting top deck and wrecked right now by K. There goes the tank. Oh no, Kyle. Kyle, he does not have anything, hardly. He did manage to get out of War Factory, so he does have a dozer, he does have a command center in the south, but this is a huge reset. His income is just about flatlining. No oil derrick, no, well, he does have 2 working trucks over here under the protection of that GAT. But this is just a sick opening for K. What an amazing start to the game with that sneaky engineer just walking his way in and getting a cell on that command center. If he would have captured it, that would have been even sicker. Just able to capture and sell off that command center. So if you want to see more action like this, definitely check out that 2v2 series that we just played. These 2 guys were on the same team, and it was phenomenal to watch. And I mean, of course, their opponents were Cloud and Blues, who were also great to watch. So it was just a great series overall. Rock V's, they're good. But hey, they don't win a game by themselves. These are nuclear battle masters. Although one of these are about to go explosive, doing some big splash damage, and goodbye to your friends. It happens to the best of us, but this is pre-propaganda center, and you have to play around the nuclear battle masters. Oh, man. K grabbed his opponent's oil derrick on top of all of that. But yeah, this is pre-propaganda center, nuclear battle masters. You have to play around the fact that they detonate and do friendly splash. K running away with his first game. Sagoro gets 1 win. Kyle gets a win. K is looking primed to get a win. Kyle can still absolutely turn this game around, but it's going to require K to make some big mistakes or Kyle to make some unbelievable plays to really turn this one around. He is now on 2 supply income, so that is kind of matching what K is on. K, of course, has 2 oil derricks behind that, and K has taken a lot less in terms of losses than Kyle has. So everything's sort of working in K's favor and not so much in Kyle's favor, but it's not the end of the road just yet. K hasn't got the game on lock just yet. In fact, there is a nuclear battle master coming in, going to be able to pick up a couple of supply truck kills. Behind this, K is going for an expansion. He is also fortifying the building in the south. Humvee does go down. I think that Humvee was empty. Big splash damage on the buildings, but ultimately that nuclear battle master does go down. Humvee in the south does get cleaned up. Gats getting the kill on that. Fresh command center ready to go, and it is going to be the 3rd supply in the north for K. 1 oil derrick gets cleaned up, so now it's going to be 3 supplies and 1 oil derrick instead of just 2 supplies and 2 oil derricks. And it might be low power mode for Kyle as well. Things are going from bad to worse, but at least he has a couple of tanks. He might have a chance to cut through the armor of K and find some kind of damage. But I mean, honestly, missile defenders plus crusaders plus an expansion behind it, it is going to be a difficult thing for Kyle to overcome. But he does have an arty strike. Calls in a barrage right there, loses a tank carelessly. Kyle losing a tank as the A-10 Warthog strike comes in, cleans up the supply center. No, it doesn't. It does not clean up the supply center, but the trucks on both sides are dodging those support powers and avoiding the instant death. You know what doesn't shoot up is nuclear battle masters. Laser lock comes in from the missile defender, cleans up 1 tank, big damage on the second of the scout on the airfield is nice from Kyle. He knows that his Gats are going to have to travel with his tank army from now on, and this tank is just going to be looking for as much splash damage as it can possibly get. But once again, K is just cleaning up everything that Kyle throws at him. K's army slowly getting bigger and better just about every moment that goes by. Cluster mine coming in. Might get a lucky drop. Has passed most of the tanks already. Okay. Not a great cluster mine, but it does mine up one of the supplies, which does deny some of that income. K literally doesn't even care, and he actually gets through. He manages to get through with 1 truck, so that truck will probably die as it's just auto-harvesting there, but it almost doesn't matter. War Factory and double supply in the south. I love this move from Kyle. If it had been a different game, if it had been a different setup, this double expand in the south could have been really killer, could have been really key, but I don't think it's quite going to work. 5 Crusaders attacking 1 supply center. Meanwhile, 2 Crusaders going to be duking it out with these 3 Gats, cleaning them up one by one. The Gats will go down. The Crusaders will reign supreme, and it's going to be a double Gat drop from Kyle. He's still trying to hold on to this location. Comanche comes in as well. Kay is bringing everything that he can to the fight, and Kyle is just crumbling step by step. Kyle has not tapped out. He's trying to add on a propaganda center. He will be able to get access to those late game units, get maybe even some of those upgrades. I don't know if he, at this point, can really justify getting stabilizing isotopes this late in the game, but Kyle has absolutely fought back incredibly well. Having to sell off your command center that early and being able to bounce back from that much of an economic setback, losing that supply as well, is just pretty impressive. Again, it would kind of take K throwing from this position for Kyle to be able to take it, but it is possible. A bunch of Gats, you know, they are good. They are good units. They're just not necessarily beating an army of Crusaders. In this case, the Crusaders do actually split up. 4 of them into the north. A couple of them have gone fully heroic. They got that elite status. Gats could potentially jump on these Crusaders. One Crusader taking a bit of damage. Missile defenders will get caught out in the open. I don't think they'll have time to jump in the building, and indeed they do not. Crusader tanks looking for more targets. An additional command center is going to be getting established here, but it is getting tagged by K. And K, he's not gone super crazy on the expansions. He's mostly been focused on, I guess, building tanks, building up his air forces as well, although he really only has 1 Comanche out on the map. K, you know, adding up to 2,500 in the bank, 3 grand in the bank, but Kyle as well, also floating 3K in the bank. So not really a difference in how they're spending in how much they're spending. They're both spending most of their money only now floating. From the majority of the game, they have been doing a good job of keeping their income on lock. Another nuclear battlemaster going down. Comanche is here. K doing an amazing job of letting nothing slip through. It has just been consistent progress forward for K, but Inferno cannons are always nice to have. Not enough to ignite a firestorm. As I say that, the firestorm ignites, and that will be a couple of Crusaders forced to retreat. But of course, it doesn't stop the Crusaders in the north. It doesn't stop the Raptors from coming in. It doesn't stop the A-10 Warthog from coming in as well. The Warthog strike will find some damage, and 3 of the 4 Raptors do go down. K can afford some losses. He's got missile defenders behind that, but I think he really wants probably Rock V's or more tanks to come out and finish the job. War Factory goes down. Crusader goes heroic, takes another Gat with it, and missile defenders don't get into the building because that was actually a Comanche getting a couple of shots there before it got absolutely wasted by those Gats. The main base has been cleaned up. Kyle is somehow still in this with 4K. I mean, he's got enough to get out a couple of more units, but no production is difficult to overcome. It is difficult when you've got literally no production facilities for you to get much of an army out. Second airfield coming in, second war factory for K as well. It is surprising how well Kyle is holding K off, but of course, this is all defending. This is no offense for the last couple of minutes for Kyle. He has fought admirably, but as K climbs up to nearly 10K in the bank, he is going to have a lot of cash to dump into his fresh new production facility. So much so that, I don't know, he might even be adding on another production facility soon. Arty Strike gets called in, does some damage, takes down the health of the strategy center, but the war factory is now online, or the supply center. The strategy center is coming online. Another cluster mine? Yeah, it could be another cluster mine. Raptors moving out. Going to be looking for some targets. Oh, they actually kite away. They back off completely. Mine drop on top of the truck. The trucks actually can absorb a decent amount from the mines, apparently. Raptors coming in. Looking for the hits. They do find the Infernos. One Raptor gets burned down. Second Raptor does escape. Low health, but still alive. Command center getting added on. Kyle now down to 1K in the bank. K, 15K in the bank. This dude needs to spend his money. If he could spend his money, I think this game would be over. but he just is not spending all of that cash. I expected that 10K to disappear pretty darn quick, but it is just not. He is adding on power plants as he adds on an additional war factory as well. Up in the north, another command center. The noose is tightening, but the way K is building it, the noose is just buildings. It's not even a big army. He's adding on building after building after building, cutting his float in half as the Raptors are not King Raptors. They don't even get a kill on that fully heroic Gat. The Gat survives. K, playing with his food for the last couple of minutes here, is deciding to stretch it out a little bit more. He's going Mammoths. Another new unit from Gen Evo, the Mammoth tank for the USA faction, and that should signal the end of the game. Overlords versus Mammoths. K will be your new king. If Kyle manages to bring it back from here, it will be truly delusional, truly delinquent from K. But I guess anything could happen. K could trip on his network cord and pop it out. Kyle could get the win by default, maybe. Well, I'm not sure what Kyle's plan is. He's going to try and cross-map. I guess in theory that could work. K doesn't have a ton of defense back at home, but I feel like Kyle is going to be losing buildings a lot more quickly than K is, so yeah. Raptors are here. Yeah, okay, never mind. Kyle just completely turns everything around. He's like, I'm heading back home. A-10 Warthog strike coming in. Gonna go for the supply center. Maybe a splash on the command center as well. Yeah, it takes it down to 25% health. Mammoth tanks moving in. 4 Mammoths in the north. A couple of more Mammoths streaming across the map. 4K. His production is finally halted as he's just added on an insane amount of infrastructure. Way more than he genuinely needs. But he did also add on another expansion in the north. Low power mode for Kyle. He's got 4K in the bank because he's selling everything off, and he is leaving the game. That will do it. The king is dead. Long live the king. K will advance into the next match. Welcome back to Bad Evening for game number 4. I don't know why they repeated the map, but in this case, it is going to be another match featuring the Vanilla China on the left side. The Minty Fresh. This is K. So he's playing Vanilla China this time. He is on the left side this time. And playing as the blue China tank on the right side, this is Cosmic Hope. It looks like the dice roll are random. This is true chaos if this is how they are deciding this. Yeah. I don't know what K does here. He's China against China tank. China tank will just be better. Gats are better. We'll see if he's able to make something happen. K is going to have to outplay him 100%. Maybe 110%. Dragon tank is going to get the kill. The engineer goes down. No sneaky engineer moves for UK. Not this time. Not this time indeed. Cosmic Hope, on the other hand, he's going to have the opportunity to manage his way into the next game. It's China tank, so as long as the tank fights are where the majority of the game lies, Cosmic Hope is going to have a good time. Going into an airfield for Cosmic Hope, Dragon tank is coming out 4K, and we'll see. We'll see what he's able to do. I think he's going to burn down the oil derrick, but maybe he tries something else. There are some tank hunters out on the map. Double Gat in the north. Ooh, if any MiGs get produced, that could be an easy kill for these Gats. But yeah, check this out. Single vet versus no vet Gats. Maybe if he grabs the tank hunters, he could rank up a little bit here, or maybe he dives on the trucks. Maybe, yeah, he can trade out against the tank hunters. That's good for the China vanilla player. But he gets the double team on the Gats, and look at that damage. Barely anything off of Cosmic Hope. This is the danger you play with this kind of a format. anything can happen. K, he's got 4K in the bank, but can he spend it on anything worthwhile? There's going to be the listening outpost. The MiGs come in, do a little bit of damage to that GAT tank. The burn does come through for most of the health of that GAT, but it's not quite enough. Dragon tank is going for the kill on the oil derrick. Will maybe not get it if he can't deal with this tank hunter. But there, we do get the oil derrick after that. And, well, the Dragon Tank does back up a little bit too far, perhaps. And look at all that debris flying out from that one little listening outpost as it is right on the edge of death. GAT Tank does go down. Oil derrick gets eliminated as well. Dragon Tank trying to avoid the damage from that oil derrick as it explodes and goes for its last breath. Airfield is out. Expansion is up for K, so he is not going to just give this one up. Oh, Dragon Tank gets the dozer in the south. Cash down the drain for K. Oh, man, that would have been a sick move if he was able to get a command center up both in the north and in the south, but that Dragon Tank burned it down perfectly. And now it's going to be up to these GATs to try and save this expansion point, but he will get it. K has enough time to get out some MiGs. He does have 3 MiGs on the deck. There's the 4th one. He's going to be able to bomb out these tanks, but he has to worry about these GATs. These are something that he cannot answer easily. Firestorm comes through, burning down the MiGs and the tanks. The last Battlemaster gets toasted and roasted, and K saves the day. The king is not dead. He sits on the throne, and he is ready for all challengers. Be it China versus China tank or not, but he's not out of the woods yet. The fight is not over yet. Building gets evac'd there as the MiGs take that missile defender or that tank hunter, whatever was in there. Maybe it was just a red guard, but take them out. Oh, MiGs going for the oil derrick. A bit of a mistake there. The MiGs do fly over a touch too close to those GATs, and K with his 4 MiG army. I don't know, it might even be worth going up to 8 MiGs. We'll see. Okay, no, he clears out the building. He is going to expand in the north as well. He does have a listening outpost. He has a war factory. Adding on the GAT turret quickly and then garrisoning this bunker. That is a very powerful bunker area as far as, you know, you don't actually have to build the bunker. You can just utilize it. Arty Strike firing off in both directions. It looks like it is going to land on the airfield. Takes down a couple of MiGs. One MiG maybe is surviving, but no, it did not even last the night. Meanwhile, the Arty Strike on the return fire is actually going to be in partnership with a cluster mine to try and shut down the eco, but the airfield gets taken out. K goes for the kill. That counts. 3K in the bank for K, and he is happy with with his choices that he has made, because that cluster mine and that Arty Strike didn't do nearly as much as K is going to be able to do with air superiority with his MiGs against a tank player. Battlemasters moving forward, GATs as well. The income and the economy for Cosmic Hope never took off. K took a couple of smart engagements, and now the China tank player is getting out-tanked. Cosmic Hope is faltering at the hurdle, and the MiGs are on Overwatch. This is going to be a pretty easy cleanup as long as K doesn't make any major mistakes. He's going to be able to jump on this tank. Maybe he wasn't able to jump on it quite as quickly as he would like. Missile defenders or tank hunters getting a couple of extra shots here. Second Battlemaster does start out. This could be trouble for K. He's trying to shut down the war factory. He's trying to take the production offline. Can he actually do it in time? He will get the kill, but at what cost? His MiGs refueling on the background, and it's going to be up to the missile defenders and the red guard coming in from the north to finish off Cosmic Hope. GAT cannon is getting added on, but the MiGs have refueled. They're flying back out onto the target, onto the field, and they're going to clear out the mid-ground. K, double expanding in the south. This is the time to go for that expansion while your attack is covering you, while you've got the pressure on, and while you're keeping the pressure up with those infantry. He's going to need the superior eco. That is what has kept him in this game against a China tank player. War Factory in the north. MiGs ready for another pass. They weren't quite able to take down that supply center, but maybe they'll be able to get it this time. No, instead they go for the GAT. Only one MiG gets traded out. In this case, that's actually pretty decent for K, considering that he did not lose all of his MiGs in that engagement. GG! All right, kind of out of nowhere, but that is it. And GG gets called. The king is not dead. Long live the king, and K will advance into game number 5. And that takes us to Frozen Pipeline for the next match. The last King of the Hill, Sagoro, was, I think, the only player who got more than one win. And this time, it is K who is advancing with more than one win. But how long will that streak last? And will this player in the north, the brown, the USA Laser General, will he be able to stop it? This is C24. Meanwhile, in the south, sticking with that minty green, that very fresh color, getting to play China Tank, this is K. K plays long games. K plays short games. In this case, he went for an observation post immediately, but also the Veteran Academy, something from Red Alert 3. That is a double vet GAT tank from the beginning. Unbelievably powerful on this map. That Veteran Academy needs to be dealt with and identified immediately. We got Laser Crusaders out. We got a mechanic as well. The mechanic going to be giving some extra health to these Laser Crusaders, but I don't know. If any Battlemaster Mark IIs come out, it is going to be a very difficult thing to stop. Just a bunch of tank spam coming out from K. We'll see how C24 is able to do. Maybe he will manage to make it look very easy, but we'll see. K's a very strong player, and look at this beautiful lineup of power plants. That's not actually why we're here, for the beautiful SimCity skills, but it is always nice to see. We do appreciate it. First tank going down. Laser Crusader gets eaten up by a couple of tank hunters, and I mean, if a couple of tank hunters can kill your entire attacking army, things are not going to go well for you. The mechanic stayed home. Oh, he goes Laser Paladins. C24, he's got 1K in the bank. Okay, going into an airfield, it's not the worst move. Obviously, GATs are good, but, you know, Raptors can, in some cases, open up opportunities. Okay, thank you very much, bud. But these are heroic Battle Masters. They're already double vet, and now they're just straight heroic into the game. I cannot believe that he's just getting straight up fully heroic Battle Masters into this match. Well, we're going to see. Sentry drones are going to be the combination to try and take care of this. The mechanic just runs right into the front line. I'm not sure that that's the best idea, but I guess we will see. Laser Paladins going to be going toe-to-toe with these Battlemaster Mark IIs, and the Laser Paladins are going to rank up super fast if they can get the kills, but they can't. Both of them go down, and the Battlemaster Mark II, fully heroic as he is, stays alive through the engagement. K now sitting at nearly 10K in the bank, and genuinely I don't know if he even needs that cash because he is actually pressing forward. He's got a War Factory coming up. He's got an expansion getting added on, Propaganda Tower. He's got a barracks as well. Laser Sentry drones, they look cool, but the green flames are the only thing left from C24. Oh my gosh, K actually stole his opponent's oil derricks as well. This is just an outclassing from K. C24 is outmatched in this instance. Maybe we'll see C24 in the future, and he'll be able to put up a bit of a better fight, but in this moment, K is the far better player. No disrespect to C24. He stepped into the ring, and he wanted to see how he could go against currently one of the best Gen Evo players, K. I'm not saying the best. I'm not saying the best, but one of the best Gen Evo players. And I mean, it's not close. You gotta give C24 props for trying. Probably didn't need 5 power plants, but yeah. Getting that Veteran Academy 4K was the perfect opening move, and when you're the China tank general, like, it's almost unfair getting those heroic Battlemaster Mark IIs right from the beginning of the game. Absolutely insane firepower. 13K in the bank doesn't even matter. Unless there's 14 engineers simultaneously capturing all of K's buildings at once, yeah, it just doesn't matter. C24 will be out of it. Oh boy, there we go. Well, some of these games are not as good as the others, but a big props to C24 for stepping into the ring. He signed up. Even though there were some top dogs in this, he put his best foot forward, and I hope to see him back in the future, maybe a little bit more practiced, but back in the future trying for the crown again. Welcome to Tournament Desert, and yeah, that's the middle of the map. The build radius in Gen Evo is definitely generous. In the north, as the reddish, the rusty red-brown, this is Spam Alt F4. He is the red China player going up against the green USA super weapon. This is K. The map is Tournament Desert. The barracks in the middle pretty much cuts the map in half. K feeling good after a 2 or 3 win streak. He wins a China Vanilla versus China Tank match, and then he himself gets a China Tank match and is able to just steamroll on it into a Tournament Desert game. Double oil derrick grab by K, double expansion in his main. Supply center coming up. Maybe it's a little bit late, but that is okay. And it is going to be just the quick expansion, and we'll see what K is able to do with this Humvee. This could be a very short game. Spam Alt F4. Big thanks to him for jumping on the broadcast. He was actually one of the analysts that I brought on for the 2v2 show match, and it was really great to have him and Sherp on the broadcast as well. But in this case, I don't know how long he's going to be in this game. Okay, Gat does pull that Humvee back, so the Humvee does not cross map. He doesn't go for any damage. Spam going a little bit aggressive, and you got to hand respect to Spam for trying to take on the King and taking the fight to him. In this case, it's not going to work out super well. He didn't actually get the kill on the supply truck, which is a bit unfortunate, but he does have 2 Gats moving through the middle of the map. He does also have a Battlemaster on the east side in the south. His own engineer is going to be grabbing that oil derrick, and he is going to be able to take that income away from K. But of course, the cash bonus for capture goes to K. Patriot EMP coming up, and it is going to be the Patriot Raptor, the Alpha Raptor, getting the lockdown on both of those Gats. Bye-bye, Gats. That is the end of those Gats. And, of course, the Alpha Raptor makes dealing with tanks so much easier than it otherwise would be. This is a China Vanilla player, but he is going to need to deal with the EMPs coming at him from every direction, like this is against Marked of Cain in Cain's Wrath or something. This guy can do whatever he wants. When he's got that many EMPs at his disposal, it is so easy to shut down armies. So we'll see what Spam Alt F4 is able to do to make something happen in this match. K goes for the kill on that oil derrick. Spam has at least gotten his value back from that oil derrick, but of course he's not getting any additional value from it. You really want those oil derricks for the long haul, and of course Spam is zeroed out on income. His propaganda center slowing down, the production getting halted, and now the EMPs are ready to come in at any moment where K will use them is anyone's guess, but they might be forced to return to base and be used to stop these Gats from coming in and blowing up his base. Humvee steps forward, Paladins as well. They're the guard to let the Humvee just do its work. A couple of tank hunters are here, but they're not going to have enough damage output to really deal with these Paladins. Those rockets can be zapped away one by one. Laser lock on the Gats. Every single Gat goes down. It's just up to the tank hunters after that, and it's going to be a second EMP Patriot, which will deal with the 2 additional Gats. K loses a Raptor on the return to base, but that Gat getting a Raptor kill is about the only good thing for Spam Alt F4 in this game. K, feeling like he is in complete control, knocks down a War Factory from this double War Factory China player, delays that expansion to get out the second War Factory, and then he doesn't even have the War Factory. K is taking his own third behind this. Engineer grab of the left oil derrick. I love that move from Spam. At the very least, he does have that oil derrick taken away from K. We'll see if this Gat is going to survive. No, it won't be able to reverse move in time. 4 Paladins on the front line for K. He has spent his bank as well, so he does at least have that going for him. Alpha Raptors take off. They head up to the north side of the map. All right, RD strike fires off. Might be on the airfield. It might instead be on one of these. Oh, it is going to be on the airfield. Doesn't catch anything on the deck. Unfortunately for Spam, he, I think, was firing a little bit blind on that one and hoping he could catch the Alpha Auroras. The Alpha Raptors, rather. Gat is here. Supply truck's going to be getting slowed down. I guess EMP in the supply center is a good move as well. Raptor's going to just kite around that damage. Big infantry army, but that can be dealt with by the USA player. Ooh, has not repaired up that airfield just yet. If there was anything else from this China player that could be a dead airfield, well, fuel air bomb will catch the tank. Or maybe the listening outpost, but not any of the infantry. Not yet, at least. Oil derrick gets recapped by K. A lot of missile defenders, a lot of tank hunters, rather, from our China players. Spam Alt F4, 5K in the bank. He could drop that cash pretty quick. The Air Force being so important for K. Bunker gets busted. War Factory getting added on. Second Command Center getting added on. Nuke Cannon is here. Economy getting slowed down again. Not a big change there for Spam. A-10 Warthog strike coming in. Almost all of them going down. Propaganda Center will be safe. Easy defense for the Propaganda Center, it seems. All right, K. Everything has been on you up to this point. EMP Patriot. Is he going to just try and leapfrog into Spam's base? Fuel air bomb. Little bit in front of the army, but I think he was expecting maybe a move forward or a reaction. Either way, EMP Patriot is going to be coming online just in time. Hopefully it doesn't send him into low power mode, but we'll see. K is ready to go into the next game. Spam is standing in his way. Can Spam dethrone the king? This is Gats versus Paladins. Normally not a favored fight in Gen Evo, but we'll see the EMPs make this an even better fight for the USA player, but maybe the Gats can find their damage. In this case, they do not. Not a single Paladin goes down. Actually, one single Paladin did go down there on the left side. But not much more than that. Nuke Cannon lands a shot. One Paladin getting eaten up by the radiation. ECM's trying to go for the shutdown. Spam still not with an army that can end the game, but he can defend. He can extend out this match. Double internet center coming in. He's already got at least one internet center out on the field. Make that 2, so he will be up to 4 internet centers. And the engineer does grab back the oil derrick. They've been fighting over it a lot. EMP lands. Nuke cannon does not die. ECM backs off. And K is ready to keep pushing the envelope further forward, ever further forward. He's going to take the right side expansion. He has got eyes on the left side expansion as well. Cluster mine? On the expansion? Where is he going? Oh, he's going to mine up the oil derrick. That's pretty funny. Didn't actually make it. He's got the airlifted Humvee. Okay, all right. He's got the airlifted Humvee. No combat Chinooks, but an airlifted Humvee is a pretty good thing. Nuclear cannon lands, but does not get the kill first. Instead, it will be a trade. 2 paladins for a nuke cannon. And Spam going to be taking a little bit of damage on his gats. Driving through those radiation zones can be a very dangerous thing to do. He's ready, but is he really ready? As another paladin does go down, Gat's going to be trading against these paladins. As soon as the paladins get in range, the China army disappears pretty quickly. Alpha Aurora goes boom as that nuke cannon gets eliminated. We'll see if K is going to give an inch in this game. So far, Spam Alt F4 has been okay on defending, but has not been able to attack in any sense. I would love it if he just dropped the Humvee off on this island. This peaceful little island here, just hanging out. Nuke cannon gets cleaned up there. A little bit of an airstrike, I'm guessing. No tomahawks just yet. Okay, 2 tomahawks. Just as I say no tomahawks, there are 2 tomahawks. Fuel air bombs coming in, and for all K's aircraft usage, I'm kind of surprised that he doesn't have 2 airfields. He does have 3K in the bank. He could, you know, pull back the spending on Patriots a little bit. Oh, okay. A nuke gets added on. Spam thinks he's going to be in this game long enough for a nuke to matter. I guess it is theoretically possible. We shall see if this is something that really makes it through to the late game. Another EMP Patriot getting added on. Nuclear cannons are here. Tomahawks are the counter as far as K is concerned. I think the actual counter is going to be the aircraft. And here they come. That's a level 2 A-10 Warthog strike. As he comes in, he does not get the full damage on all 3 nuclear cannons, but he does with the fuel air bombs. K starting to clean up the edges of the defense for Spam Alt F4. And K hasn't ended it just yet. There is still a hope for Spam Alt F4. K with 6K in the bank. I feel like he could really go bigger in the aircraft. In this case, he is going to be adding on multiple particle cannons. He is going to be extending out this game perhaps a little bit longer. It feels like the longer this game goes on, the more of a chance that Spam Alt F4 has. It feels like K's advantages are strongest when he doesn't give his opponents as much time. Is he just going to commit into this attack? This feels like it's going to be quite costly, but he might just end the game regardless. Avenger going to be helping to shut down these nuclear cannons, and the Tomahawks might get a couple of more kills here, but the nuke cannons are the better artillery. 4 minutes on the clock. 4 minutes on the clock. K can actually get both of his super weapons to fire before the first nuke goes off. Meanwhile, on the left side of the map, it is going to be Paladins knocking down the Gat cannon and the Humvee from the sky taking down the supply trucks one by one. The left flank has fallen, and K has 2 particle cannons outpacing Spam Alt F4. And if he goes into low power mode, it's just going to be even worse for Spam Alt F4. Oh, the helicopter survives. Are you kidding me? That Chinook survives. 1 nuke cannon down. 2nd nuke cannon doesn't go down. But finally, the Chinook falls. Goodbye, Chinook. It was nice knowing you. 3 particle cannons out on the map, which means K could literally burn 2 of them, stopping Spam Alt F4's nuke from going off, and still have a 3rd to use on whatever he wants. Massive fuel air bomb lands as K deletes a chunk of Spam's army. On top of that, it's going to be Paladins on the high ground, taking down an internet center, and they will have a power plant to go for after that. It's going to be low power mode, possibly, for Spam. 3 Gats attacking on the east side of the map. This feels ill-advised, but what can Spam do? If he wants to get some damage out on the map, he has to do something, and everywhere else is just his forces exploding. So the east side of the map feels like his only hope in this moment. MiG's coming in. MiG's leaving. They didn't actually do anything. Oh my gosh, those fuel air bombs. They look spectacular as Spam's entire army just falls apart. His clock is still ticking. The internet center's getting cleaned up is kind of nice for him because it means he won't go into low power mode. But truly, K has taken over the map and is giving not an inch to Spam Alt F4. Through the fire. There's 1 Paladin left. There's 1 Paladin. Oh my gosh. Where did that fuel air bomb flew right past our face. Yeah, if only there was the Humvee in the island. Just having a good time. I just realized this water is going in a circle around the island, which I don't know if that really makes any sense. For the water to be flowing in a continuous circle like that. 3 internet centers, 2 of them go down. The 3rd survives with 1 HP as the fuel air bombs continue to carve up the army of Spam. Gats land what shots they can, but most of the Auroras are actually surviving. 50 seconds on the clock for the first particle cannon. Arty Barrage does fire off. MiG Strike comes in as well. Avengers are here. Low power mode as the Arty Strike pauses those particle cannons and gives the nuke a chance to catch up in the timing. This 1 Paladin is still alive. This 1 Paladin surviving so many fights straight up with the enemy. The particle cannons are still frozen. Spam is hoping to win the nuclear arms race, pressing forward right through the defenses, taking every angle on this opportunity to try and find a win. K bombing his own buildings to kill off Spam Alt F4 to stop this assault, and it will be the Battlemaster back at home trying to make the defense happen. A fully heroic Paladin will end up losing. We just needed to sneeze on that Paladin to knock it down, and yet the nuke still has not outpaced the particle cannons. But actually, they're so close right now that the particle cannons might actually start firing, and there might be a moment for the nuke to fire. So we'll see what K decides to do. He might use them defensively, knowing that the nuke can't do everything. Airfield goes down. War Factory will follow. Nuclear explosions in every direction, as K is not the only one with super weapons. The power might go out, the lights might be dark, but K's chances of taking this game are alive and well. K with 6K in the bank, happy to give up a couple of buildings here and there. Spam Alt F4, it looks like selling off some stuff. As the particle cannon burns down the internet centers, Spam's production hits the floor, goes to 0. And, well, at least that cluster mine feels a little bit extra at this point, considering the Rangers are already gone. The nuke did survive. One of the power plants also did survive. But the writing has been on the wall for a long time. Unfortunately, Spam Alt F4 has not been able to turn this one around. Carpet Bomb coming in. Oh, okay, on the expansion. Gets the expansion, fair enough. Fuel air bomb lands. Gats trying to go 1-to-1 with these paladins, but that is not a fight that the China player can win. Spam will not dethrone the king. K lives on to the next game. That will do it. The winning streak continues for K and will take us into the next match. Welcome back to Bad Evening. So far, it has been a bad evening for certain people in this series of games. And let's find out if this man on the left side can be stopped. He is the Green Toxin General. This is K. And hopefully not playing a GLA faction, but playing Cyan, the Challenger, playing USA Air Force. This is Spiritual Mango. He is a mango, he is a delicious fruit, and he is ready to take the fight to K. I'm not sure if he is going to be a challenge, but Spiritual Mango has put up some really good games in the past, and right now, K is feeling unstoppable. There are some players who can knock down K, and one of them is Kyle, and he's already been knocked down. Spiritual Mango is one of the other guys who I would think, it really depends on how he's feeling, but I would think Spiritual Mango could also knock down K, but we'll see. War Factory is up for K. First technical gets shut down. You saw that. Missile defenders inside of this building getting the nice kill there. Spiritual Mango has also the first one to claim a oil derrick. Always nice. Technical harass going to be coming in here. 2 technicals inside of the minimum fire range for that fire base, but then they step outside of it and 1 technical goes down. Spiritual Mango already thrown into chaos, thrown into mayhem by the forces of K. Raptors do come out. Oh, Firebase gets a second kill there. That was a fully heroic technical. That is not the kind of losses you want to be taking. The Raptor does go out, and he does not go for the kill on the technicals, harassing his economy. K is instead taking the damage back at home as these Raptors target down the War Factory. The technicals are going to wait for the Raptor to land and immediately light it up. Goodbye to that technical, or goodbye to that Raptor, but not goodbye to the technicals, because these 5 technicals now own the base of Spiritual Mango. I don't know if this strategy of just attacking the War Factory to shut down the production is the right one. It feels like you have to take care of the technicals back at home with something, and the Raptors are at least 1 unit that can do it. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know why Spiritual Mango is attacking the War Factory. Mango has no cash because all of his supply trucks keep getting killed. He's having to rebuild Raptors. Oh, Raptor, get off the deck. Firebase is here. The Firebase kind of protects the Raptors, but it takes the Firebase so many shots to kill a technical. Raptor dies immediately as it drops. The War Factory does eventually go down, but guess what? You can build another one if you've got an economy, which K does. An overwhelming force, and a bunch of upgraded technicals now. He's got a 2 fully vet technicals, 2 fully heroic, rather, technicals. He's got veteran technicals all over the place, gunning down a command center. And these guys actually do get some anti-air capability as well. But of course, on the ground, the Raptors are no match. K is overwhelming with one of the cheapest armor, with one of the cheapest vehicles in the game. I guess they're not even rightly an armor unit here. I guess that is one thing. As the technicals get upgraded, they start being able to be zapped, and that will be the GG. Spiritual Mango takes a quick L here on Bad Evening. It was a bad evening for him. And that will do it for game number 7. K advances into match number 8 of this King of the Hill. Welcome back to Sand Serpent for game number 8 of this King of the Hill series. In the north, playing the USA Laser, this is K. And in the south, looking to knock the king off his throne, playing the Cyan GLA Toxin, this is E1A2. Going for a windmill first. I'm not 100% sure what that is about, but I am up to being proved wrong, to being, shown the better way. War Factory going to be getting deployed by K. He is going to have that directly in between his two supply docks, but also the Laser Patriot. This guy is expecting technicals to be coming across the map very swiftly, and we'll see if that actually does happen. War Factory on the way, double barracks opening for our GLA player as well, and he is going across the bridge first. So he did not go engineer first in the south. He did go across the bridge first. He wanted to secure this building, secure that southern location, and then also try and grab these buildings in the middle, but he did miss the kill on K's engineer. So K has grabbed that oil derrick, and, K has also grabbed his own 2 oil derricks. So nice quick oil derricks for K. Additional power plant going to be getting added on because K is currently low on power. And unfortunately for E1A2, he may not be alone in this corner of the map. K is showing up here with a laser Humvee. He's going to cross the bridge. He's going to even take down the supply truck, which I think is a little bit of auto-harvesting accident. Unfortunately, one of the downsides to Gen 0 Hour is it has some bugs based on the Red Alert 3 code that it is based on, the Red Alert 3 base game that it is based on, that it is a mod for. War Factory is up. No pop of the missile defenders, so they don't jump out to try and laser lock. They're going to stay inside of that Humvee, and in this case, they're going to get chased into the corner. K does lose the oil derrick in the middle of the map. E1A2 is now the one with 3 oil derricks under his control, but he doesn't catch and kill that laser Humvee. The Humvee escapes, gets a couple of kills, gets on out, at least 1 quad down, and actually is going to do some good damage to the oil derrick as well. Won't be able to finish it off. Could target down the bridge to try to go for the immediate kill, but no. That would also kind of lock you into your side of the map, so that would definitely be a bit of a spite your nose to... No, cut off your nose to spite your face. Spite your nose to cut off your face would be the wrong way that phrase works. You kill the bridge, but also kind of trap yourself and force yourself to build an engineer to recapture or to rebuild that bridge. So, wouldn't necessarily be worth it. Technical will not give chase. K is going to be able to escape back over. I love that that E1A2 grabbed the oil derrick on the other side of the bridge as well, denying that from K. This is the first time a player has felt like they can actually match K on the eco front, but this is purely with oil derricks. This is not with expansions. And I mean, in the map Sand Serpent, there aren't a lot of expansions to be had anyways, so holding those oil derricks is a bigger percentage of the economy on the map than it would be on some other maps. Okay, here we go. Avengers and laser Humvees getting joined up in the sky. It is Chinook production 4K. He has got 5 Chinooks out on the map, maybe a 6th one on the way. I don't know. This guy is about to go crazy with the aircraft. And this is one of those things that I don't think E1A2 is expecting. But as it turns out, quad cannons can't be zapped by Avengers. Bullets do a pretty good job of getting through the rocket zap of the Avengers. Rocket buggies are out. All right, if the quads get jumped on, one of the quads is going to get pathed to death. The pathing is sending them the wrong way on the bridge, so the laser turret is going to get basically a free kill here. A bit unfortunate for that quad cannon. All right, in the north, they've flown over some of the oil derrick, and also those rocket buggies are going to be getting spotted. So These missile defenders firing down from their Humvees in the Chinook. And hey, if you had Stinger sights, they would not do you very much good versus all of these Avengers, all of these Humvees. And the quad cannons don't have infinite range. The Chinooks are fast enough to outrun the quad cannons, and they do escape out over the water. Expansion is going to be going down. Nicely done here by K. He has got his Chinooks ready to go, loaded to the teeth, or armed to the teeth with rockets. Oh, that Stinger sight, such a sad sight to see. Normally, a Stinger sight at your expansion, a fine thing to do. But in this particular game, it is not going to work out for E1A2. Quad cannons get jumped on. They do damage to one of the Chinooks, but it's not actually very much. The Avengers zapping away all of those toxin rockets, and the rest of these Chinooks are basically at full health. K doing so much damage and not expending a single unit. He gets the rocket buggies, the early rocket buggies that were built, denying that mobility, denying that artillery, and he's got 14K in the bank. He has been so busy microing his heart out that his macro has completely fallen to pieces. I guess the advantage is, if your macro cycles suck, it doesn't matter if you're killing your entire opponent's army and base, because then they don't have anything anyways. The flight of the Chinooks going to be crossing the water, looking to deal with these civilian structures that have been garrisoned up by E1A2. Oh my gosh, 15K in the bank for K for a couple of moments there. And eventually these buildings will be broken. E1A2 just kind of is, he's massing quads because what else are you going to do? But for most of this time, he has been broke. He's now got 1,400 in the bank. He is going to try and get out of black market. He's at the palace for a while, but like, it's a tough spot to be in. 2.5K in the bank. He can produce a whole bunch of quads. I guess he could also produce a whole bunch of RPG troopers and just try to go for like sheer numbers, but like, there's not a lot of good setups for a GLA player who's getting surprised by this. If you know that it's coming and you can have quads in position to catch these Chinooks, then sure, easily able to deal with them. But when you get surprised like E1A2 was, and some of your quads get jumped on and overwhelmed, it's hard for him to fight back. He's got a really good line of quads now. I am worried that as spread out as they are, K will just kite them. Like, he'll just pop over, he'll get a couple of shots off, he'll fire a couple of rockets, he'll back off, he'll escape, and the quads will do some damage, but then K will just run for the hills. Barracks getting established up in the north. Black market taking some damage. Supply trucks going down. K looking to kill the economy. He's going to get the radar van as well, maybe. Barely. Does not get it, and he's forcing these quads to reposition. Hold fire does mean the end of one of the Humvees, or maybe one of the Avengers, but it looks like the barracks also did not get established. Unfortunately for E1A2, he was not able to get any production out on the north side of the map. There's a Stinger site here, which can be nice, but K is going to call it quits. He's built 6 Laser Crusaders sent to the front line. 7, 8, 9, 10. 4 more Laser Crusaders going to be getting pumped out. That 15K bank has turned into only a measly 10K as K presses his advantage and closes in from just about every side. He's already knocked down the oil derrick. He's already taken all of the remaining oil derricks on the map. And now it's just up to his ground army to roll over this GLA player. Your toxins are no good here, Dr. Thrax, as E1A2 sells off to send K into the next game. Absolute domination from K in this King of the Hill, a true lineage that K is establishing here, and that will do it for this game. Let's jump into game number 9. Welcome back to Sand Serpent for game number 9. The penultimate game in this King of the Hill series. And it is going to feature a new Cyan player in the north. This one playing China Infantry. This is the Doc. Let's see if he can examine the results and find a way to beat this guy in the south. He is playing Vanilla China. This is K. K played Vanilla China already, and he beat a guy playing China Tank. So, can he repeat and get the win against a guy playing China Infantry? He's going to have to watch out for those minigunners. He's going to have to be worried about the infantry. I mean, assault troop transports also. Make quick work of aircraft if you're thinking, hey, I'm going to go MiGs. Well, you're going to have to be very careful with those MiGs because, of course, minigunners delete aircraft very easily. Engineer looks like he's actually heading for his opponent's oil derrick, so that'll be a nice steal if he's able to get that off. This is an opening that's actually going to give K a little bit of a chance here. He's going to be able to grab his opponent's oil derrick. He's going to be able to safely grab his own oil derrick as well, which will be 3 oil derricks, 4 oil derricks under the control of K. And also, he's going to have control of a couple of the buildings in the middle of the map. We'll see if he's able to hold on to those. Fortified bunker is here for the China infantry player, but... uh-oh. We got some very nice power plant placement once again, but that did not bode well for the last guy who had great power plants placed against K. And in this case, the listening outpost is going to be heading back across the bridge. K is not going to allow that expansion to come up that easily. You're going to have to try a little bit harder if you want to expand in the south versus K. And K goes double war factory, but that is a super early second command center as well. He's going to try and go for some kind of like infrastructure domination plan. He is going for the expansion in the south as well. And the GAT actually gets into his enemy's base. Taskmasters are going to be brought out from the dock to try and deal with this. 8K in the bank, nearly 4K, as he has a lot of money floating. And I assume that is because he is spending all of his time building command centers. He's actually going for a 3rd command center. He is so confident in his game versus, an airfield in the south at the same time. He is so confident in his game versus the dock that he is not even... oh no, this is a tank hunter. What are you doing, tank hunter? That he is not even building units. He's just building buildings against the dock. He's going airfield in the south. He's got the expansion all set up. And this is going to be a barracks getting established by K as well. All right. We'll see. It's going to be a GAT on the front line. A GAT coming up from the dock as well. Although, no, I bet that's actually K's GAT. Yes, it is. K is double gatting the southern expansion. There are taskmasters here. They don't do a real good job of shooting up versus these MiGs. So K is taking the command center in the center of the map. He is going to have massive build radius to start leapfrogging his way into the base of the Doctor. Oh my gosh, look at that. All the way out on this edge from the middle of the map. K is going insane with this build, and he is taking every corner. Quite literally, he is going to have expansions in every corner of the map because he's going to have 2 oil derricks in one corner, his own main base, and then he's going to have the expansion in the bottom left, and the only corner that he doesn't have is his opponent's main base. The dock running out of cash, spending a couple of dollars on this propaganda center, and K still sitting with 5K in the bank. His own propaganda center getting established in the middle of the map, and K is dropping in proxy war factory. Well, it's not over, but it's been over for a while. Big props to the dock for signing up to this event. It is going to be a truly amazing comeback if he takes this game away from K. Truly amazing for him to be able to knock K down from this position. Nuke cannons, are you kidding me? K's going up against an infantry general who has built almost no infantry. Oil Derrick gets eliminated. Every option that the doc might have tried has been researched and denied by the FDA. This doctor is getting no new clients. He is getting no work done. Oh, there actually is an engineer over here. The doc could potentially be taking that, but he's not. Inferno cannons and nuke cannons going to be joining forces here, 4K. He has not ignited the Firestorm, but he is going to be firing off the artillery barrage. He did actually manage to sneak a couple of tank hunters behind enemy lines as well. There's the artillery barrage, if you've ever wondered what it looks like sort of in pause there. Nuclear reactors getting targeted down, $16,000 in the bank, and a fresh command center getting added on as well. Inferno cannons, nukes, everything that could be brought has been brought to bear. I guess that's not actually true, but it feels that way because of how dominant K is in this game, in this series, in this King of the Hill. Long live the King, because he's got 20,000 in the bank, and he is on the front door of his opponent, knocking it down. There's the fire sale, and truly a fire sale as the Firestorm ignites. The doc has been defeated. K will advance into the last match of this King of the Hill with a dominant streak that seems like it will never end. Welcome back to Sand Serpent. Yes, we just saw this map, but we are going to see it again. And we have also already seen the players in this map, but we haven't seen them on this battleground. In the north, playing the USA Air Force and going immediately into that airfield, this is K. An absolutely dominant performance in this King of the Hill. Meanwhile, his final challenger, revived and brought back from the dead, playing a USA Mirror, this is K. I just messed up their colors, and I think this guy in the top left-hand corner, this shows you how bad this is going to be. This is Kyle. Up here in the top left, that's Kyle. He's the regular green. Yes, okay, so look at the minimap. This is the chaos that we have to look through. It's double USA Air Force. It is two different colors of green. These guys are absolutely goofing in this game. This is not the least serious game that could be played, but this is close to the least serious game that could be played. It is an Air Force mirror. These are usually fast and furious, quickly decided, and a big deciding factor is going to be how many of your opponent's airfields can you knock down. Nice splits from K. He actually gets both of the supply trucks, and you have to keep in mind the King Raptors have the laser zap. So if you do manage to zap your opponent's missiles, they're going to have to refuel, and you won't actually have to deal with the full damage output of a Raptor. So in that case, K got those missiles off just in time. Kyle was not able to stop that supply truck from going down. And that is the first bit of concrete damage. Uh-oh, what's going on here? What is this? Okay, there they go. Oh, he doesn't stop the kill. The airfield goes down. Kyle does manage to get enough damage out, and he does manage to kill that Raptor. Look at that! Absolutely silly, the amount of missiles that it takes to knock down one Raptor. Absolutely silly because of those laser zaps, and now you have to send the Raptors to the other airfield. Infantry and aircraft. That's what some of these other aircraft mirrors have turned into, is infantry and aircraft. And K is now going to try and rebuild his second airfield. He is down an airfield against Kyle. Kyle is going to go in for the kill. He does split the missiles between the command center and the airfield. Couple of missile defenders, not going to be enough to knock down these King Raptors. Good control from both players. They've both done a really good job of choosing their targets. Kay's actually going to be going for the kill on the supply trucks. He keeps trying to keep his opponent's economy down. He took one oil derrick in the middle of the map. Meanwhile, Kyle took two oil derricks, one in the north, one next to his base. Kay finally gets the kill on that airfield, and he goes double firebase at the front door. Actually, no, I think Kyle got all 3 of the oil derricks. I don't think K took this one. I thought he did at first, but he indeed did not. This is a lot of missiles coming in. It's still not enough to knock down Kyle's air forces, but the Raptors are going to give chase. Look at that. Those laser zaps are so good. Against the rockets, it's just so hard to come through with the aircraft kills. All right, spy drones getting cleaned up here and there. Raptors on Overwatch for both players, keeping the Raptors off the deck so that you can try and keep them from getting dropped on by your opponent's Raptors. And K trying to split up his opponent's Raptors. Kyle hoping he can zap some of the missiles, but he loses the second airfield just as his next airfield finishes up. Big missiles coming through. Kyle loses another Raptor. K feels like he's got the momentum, but Kyle has the sentry drones on the ground. He managed to get out the war factory, and he's going to have to rebuild his airfield. He doesn't have anything that really shoots up on the ground. He does have a couple of Rangers here, so he can start clearing out those buildings. K knows it. K evacs the buildings, heads back out with the Raptors. Oil derrick might be the other target, but no, he goes for the airfield. He gets the insta-kill on it because one of his Raptors has gone heroic. A couple of them have gone double vet. They've gone elite. Another airfield down. K has the momentum. He's going to be able to take the oil derrick, which is the cherry on top. He's going to be 2 oil derricks versus the 2 oil derricks of his opponent, but soon 3 oil derricks. K cannot be stopped. A dominant performance from K in this King of the Hill. A massive win for K in this series of games. Every challenger who has stepped up has been knocked down by K. The laser zaps coming in, but K has the numbers advantage. He cleans up at least one Raptor of Kyle's, and K continues to press on forward. His advantage is feeling overwhelming. I do like the switch up into sentries, but the sentries feel like they are a short-term, not even solution, but a short-term answer to the question of how do you beat K. In this case, you just can't. Unless he makes a big mistake. He's got the air advantage in an air mirror against Kyle. And now he's got the economic advantage as well. He's going to take the last oil derrick, well, I guess this would be the last oil derrick, away from Kyle. Kyle is forced to use some of his missiles on the oil derrick in the middle of the map. And an A-10 Warthog strike comes in. It cleans up at least one Raptor that was on the deck. K coming in with a second strike of Raptors, and this is just resetting the timer every single time. K is going to be taking an expansion in the south. Maybe even going for a 2-fer, but no, he will just stop at the 1 for the current moment. Economic advantage is in K's favor. Production advantage is in K's favor. The only thing K doesn't have is the superior ground army, but it doesn't matter because he has so many Raptors that he can just bomb this army as it gets closer and closer to his base. He has the fire bases to buy him time. He's now got 3 fire bases, and he's just continually running bombing runs against his opponent. Expansion in the south, he's now got 5-6 Avengers overwatching this expansion. Oh, that A-10 Warthog strike didn't even do anything. K saw it coming and managed to get his Raptors off the deck. He didn't even take an L there. Command center in the north. K taking everything away from Kyle. He will not give an inch. He will not slip up. He will not let anyone take him down in this King of the Hill. A fresh airfield has been established for Kyle. A player reduced to not building aircraft in an aircraft mirror. In an Air Force General mirror. Look at that. So many missile defenders from Kyle, but it just doesn't matter. He's going to need even more if he hopes to knock down the Raptors of K. The extra command center in the north is the insurance on top of all of it. And these airfields just keep getting knocked down. As soon as a fresh one gets built, K knocks it down. 13,000 in the bank for K, and it just doesn't seem to stop. The wins don't stop coming as K is looking to to send this even further into the future with more and more wins. Even though this is the last game of this King of the Hill, he will be the undoubted king of this hill. Those zaps coming in, those King Raptors denying so much of the DPS from Kyle's ground army. The Firebase is just chewing through these missile defenders one by one by one. The sentry drones have all gone down, and K now building sentry drones of his own. He gets the massive laser lock, shutting down those sentry drones so unbelievably easy, but it just doesn't matter. I mean, Kyle is trying this double barracks build. He's going to try another airfield. Every airfield has been knocked down. K has so much cash in the bank that he doesn't even need to try at this point to preserve his units. He is still going to do it. He doesn't fly directly over the massive missile defenders. He's flying around the edges. He's avoiding his opponent's strong suit, which is these missile defenders in the middle of the map, and instead, he's flying around them to just strike targets one by one. War Factory is out. Now crossing the bridge, crossing the water. K is creating an impossible situation for Kyle to try and overcome. Kyle is a worthy opponent in many ways, but on this day, K is the dominant one. All right, Kyle is, I guess, going to try one last assault. It didn't work last time. He's going to get a decent number of these sentry drones, but at the end of the day, this is a lot of sentry drones. This is a lot of King Raptors as well. And targeting down sentry drones one by one with laser lock is not a good long-term strategy. There's a bunch of Rangers here as well, which of course trade even better versus the missile defenders. Command center gets annihilated. Supply dock gets emptied. That supply depot was supposed to be some kind of a comeback move for Kyle, but it almost just, I mean, it does not matter. Raptors get one zap, but it's not enough. There is no way to come back in this game. Kyle has been defeated. K is the undisputed king of this hill, and that will do it for the September Gen Evo King of the Hill 1v1 event. A great set of games overall, some really fun matches, and even though it was just K domination, we got to see a bunch of different strategies, a bunch of different factions, a bunch of different generals, and I really enjoyed this. Absolutely great performance by K. Thank you all very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and this is Sybert signing out.